Damn, bro, you overfed your fucking autoflowers? Damn, did anybody tell this guy less is more? Sorry to hear that, fam. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to our channel where beginner growers come together to learn together. If you're new here, welcome. We do this every week, sometimes twice a week. So be sure to subscribe down below and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss our next upload. Now in today's video, as you can see, it's a slightly different setup. We're shooting from in front of the camera instead of the behind the lens. Just thought we'd give you guys something different for 2022. And on that note, happy freaking New Year to you all, everyone out there. All our viewers and subscribers and members of our community, everyone. Happy New Year. We wish you nothing but the best buds in 2022. Lots of kush, more loud, loudest loud, and the loudest loud from everyone is always the best thing. So thank you all for being part of our community. On to bigger things in 2022. And we got a lot planned for you guys. And I guess this is part of what this whole setup is about. So as you can see, we've set things up a little differently. We've got a lot of content coming out for you guys. So stick around and stay tuned because the ride is going to be freaking awesome. Now for those of you who don't know me, my name is Matt. I'm the founder of the ICANN channel, and I'm trying to get a little bit more connected with our audience. So I want to show you guys like a bit more content with this sort of style. Let me know what you guys think. If it's something you'll be interested in, if it's something you think is cool, if it's something you just like, drop a comment and let me know how you're feeling about it. We're always trying to do different stuff for you, the viewer, because it's all about you, right? All about you. So come on guys, drop a comment and just tell me what you're feeling. Tell me what you're feeling, what kind of content you like, what sort of format stuff you like. We've shot some stuff from behind the lens, giving you our little voiceover stuff.
And I know a lot of people are not sure how they feel about the voiceover, but
I've been doing those voiceovers for so long with that sort of effect, and man, it just became part of the channel, man. So whatever. So it's always good to just switch stuff up, and we figured, heck, why not? You guys want to see a face? Here's our face. Put it onto the fucking picture of what you had of us. And on that note of more content, guys, we're also going to be putting out a lot more content on our sister channel, the ICANN podcast. So be sure to be part of that movement. Like, hit the like button, subscribe. We put a link up in the corner here for you to just, or here for you to just click that, join for free. You know, just join. We're going to put we got a big stuff planned for this year, guys. Like, don't get it twisted. Anyway, I know it's New Year's, you got stuff to do, so let's get into today's episode. Talking loud, talking loud, talking loud. Okay guys, so this is the first episode of the Talking Loud series where we're going to be talking loud. We're going to be talking everything loud. If it's dank, if it's pank, and if it's got gas, we're going to be talking about it. If you can grow it and it's going to be hard and you can press it, you can squeeze it, and you can hit it in a dab, we're going to be talking about it. If it's anything that you can take that is legally grown from a plant in your state, then we're going to talk about it. If it's illegal, then we're not going to talk about it. So for that reason, we're going to talk loud. So stick around because this is the first episode in Talking Loud. Loud, loud. Now drop a comment down below if you're into talking loud. So let's get into today's episode. Okay guys, so one of the most popular things that people grow out here is autoflowers. Everybody knows what an autoflower is. When you first started out growing, I'm sure all you wanted was an autoflower because that shit sounds fucking cool, right? You want an autoflower. I want shit to flower automatically, fam. Anyway, they've got a lot of different things that happen if you're growing autos that can fuck your shit up. So we're trying to just help you not get into the position where you fuck your shit up, right? So we put together a little list of a few things that we're going to use just to help you sort of go through that autoflower growing process as best as you can and come out with some proper bud. You don't want to come out wasting your time, man. I've actually put together a little list. I've got a little notepad here. Useful episode for you guys. So first of all, prepare and plan ahead. Autoflowers don't stay around for long. You can't veg those motherfuckers for like 2-3 months. You can only keep them there for a short period of time because they only last about 6 to 8 weeks before they really, before that's it. Because autoflowers are literally around for a set time period. Autoflowers would veg for about a month before they start to flip into flower, and then after that it's like a race to the end. You just want to make sure you're giving it what it needs, when it needs, so that it can perform best for you. So always keep that in mind. They're a race to the finish, so you want to prepare accordingly. And that kind of leads us to the next topic. What are you going to grow in? Are you going to go in soil, potting mix? Are you going to go in cocoa? Are you going to go in hydro? There are options out there. You need to figure out what's best for you and for your autoflower. So just keep that in mind as well. There are a lot of stuff that you're going to put up in this memory bank right here that you got to put up in that memory bank right there. So figure all that stuff out. You want to figure out what you're going to do in terms of feeding, when you're going to feed, what are you going to feed. Are you going to use bottle nutrients? Are you going to use top dressing, organic based nutrients? You know, so there are two different types of nutrients. They can't really work well together because synthetics tend to kill the beneficial bacteria in the organic. So you just kind of want to keep that in mind as well, right? We got a lot of stuff here that you just want to like at least think about before you actually start growing those autos, and that'll help you a lot in the long run. Okay, now let's move on to tip number 2, and the second tip is don't risk transplanting autos. I mean, it can be done. Some autos can do it, just like some autos can be taught, but we'll get into that later. Long story short, guys, autos hate stress, so you don't want to stress the autos out. If you stress the autos out, they will not perform as well as they can, or they may just flower early. Like, stress can trigger early flowering, and your auto can be like this small and it'll start to flower, and that's not necessarily what you want, right? Because you won't get a lot of quality yield from that, or you may not even get quality bud from that, just because it'll be stressed the fuck out. Alright, so guys, don't risk transplanting. We actually have a video in our main channel down in the bottom, one of our first episodes where we transplanted an auto, and we try to show you how you can do it without much stress. You can basically dig a hole before that's the same size of the pot, so you just put it in, take it back out, and then you can take the pot out and put it in. It's just go check the video out, guys. So there's a link to it somewhere. Now next up, choose the correct pot. So it kind of goes on to put in your mind to what you want to do, what size pot you want to use, right? So you don't want a pot that's too big, you don't want a pot that's too small, especially for autos. Now I ran into a situation where I used a big ass fuck off pot to grow a little autoflower, and the auto's roots never filled the pot. The pot was just too big for the auto. Okay guys, so that can fuck your shit up, and you don't want to be in a position where your plants literally just can't fill the pot. There's too much soil, which leads to too much water accumulating in the soil, too much nutrients accumulating in the soil. That just throws off the pHs, the ppms, depending on what sort of nutrients you're using and stuff. It's just a bit more difficult to manage. So you want to pick one that's suitable for the pot. I'll suggest like a 3-gallon is usually great for autos, I've found personally. You've also got the plastic pots, the fabric pots, the air pots. You've got a bunch of different types of pots. So you want to like figure out what you want to use for your setup. If you're in a very humid place that has a lot of moisture in the air, maybe the fabric pots will be the better way to go. But if you're somewhere that it pots dry extremely quickly, maybe the plastic pots which retain a bit more water is a better way to go. But you always just want to make sure you're thinking about what's best for your setup, for your plant. Not everyone's setup is the same. 2 different setups can have 2 different results, and they use the same equipment. 2 different setups can have 2 different results using different equipment. So keep that shit in mind. Now tip number 3, or rather tip number 4, my bad, tip number 4 is less is more when it comes to nutrients with autos. Autoflowers don't like a lot of fucking nutrients. Like, those shit burn easy, bro. Them shits burn fucking easy, fam. You don't want to keep that shit around. If it's burnt because it smell like shit, the leaves start to get like fucking, it's just not ideal. And I've had some situations where I've even like hung and dried plants which were burned, nutrient burnt in the leaves and stuff. The buds are fine, but the leaves are just nutrient burned. You hung it to dry and it just lets off a sort of weird smell. It's just didn't like it. Anyway, autoflowers aren't around for a long time because of their set lifespan, so they don't use a lot of nutrients. If you use too much nutrients on that shit, it can zork your autos, and you don't want to zork your autos and fuck them up because they're not around for a long time. So if you stress them out, they won't have time to bounce back. Like photoperiods, you can keep them in veg for a very long time. You can manipulate the plant, you can train it, you can do all sorts of stuff to it, and it'll be fine, you know. That's just not how shit goes with autoflowers, okay guys?
Keep looking. Now we zoomed in here. We focus, fam. Is this shit focusing? Can anyone help me out here? Is this shit focused? Was I even focused all the time before? Like, I'm not sure.
Work with me, right? Work with me, guys. Don't often shoot this type of style video, but we're gonna make a lot more content for you guys. Hopefully you like it. Now, number 5, know your light cycle. Woo! Shit, guys, we're flying through these fucking tips. Okay, so tip number 5, know your light cycle. Autoflowers, they can run on 24 hours of light, no problem. Actually, with autoflowers, more light the better most times. But all plants, just like living organisms, need a little bit of time to sleep and to recover. So you don't want to like blast them with light 24 hours a day. It can work, but it may not be optimal. We found that if like the 18:6 light cycle or even the 21:3, you know, plants get a little bit of time to sleep, that works out better for them. And then we tend to see some fatter buds, and a lot of trichome production and stuff like that happens in the nighttime, so in the dark period, you know, so just keep that in mind as well. Now autoflowers can run, like I said, for like full 24 hours a day. They can run for 18 hours a day. More light is typically better. So if you're growing autos in a room with your photos, maybe it might be a good idea to run the autos until they are finished under the 18 hours of veg cycle, which your plants might be under if they're in veg, and keep that going until the autos are done, and then flip to flower. Because if you flip to flower and you have them all and the autos are under this 12-12, it just may not be optimal for the autos. You may shoot yourself in the foot, for lack of a better word. So that's just something that we found when we grow autos, because we're going to be growing a bunch of autos soon, and just figured, yeah, something to stick in there. Now next up on our list is training techniques. We touched on this just a bit earlier, and there are a lot of training techniques out there for cannabis plants. You can use a bunch of different techniques: low stress training, high stress training, topping, filming, scrogging, mainlining. There are a bunch of different techniques. We covered a lot of them on our channel, so you can check out our channel if you want to see any of those. But in essence, the low stress techniques are better for autoflowers, because autoflowers don't like stress. They don't like the high stress training technique methods. Now don't get me wrong, there are some cultivars where their autos can take stress, and they can be topped and they'll be okay, they'll be fine, they'll grow okay, but a lot of them may not grow okay. So for a beginner grower, we won't advise topping autos. It can prove to be detrimental. It can just stunt your plant, cause it to trigger flowering early, and you know, we get a very small plant, and you know, you don't get a lot of yield from it. So that's just something that we found in our experience. We prefer to not top autos. In some of our recent videos, actually, we found that not training the autoflower at all has worked out magnificently. We'll try to chop a little picture of that for you to see, but it worked out awesome, and we got some nice fat colas. Even the low, smaller branches and the lateral growth was really nice. So it's worth a try, right? Maybe sometimes less is more with training as well. Just do nothing and watch it grow, and your autoflower will grow apical with the apically dominant branch, apical dominant cola, but it'll be a big motherfucker, and you have some smaller motherfuckers around the side which are still fucking pretty dense. So it may not be a bad idea. Try, if you got a bunch of autos growing, low stress train some, high stress train some, and don't train any at all. And you see for yourself what happens, and drop a comment. Come back to this video and drop a comment and let me know how that went for you. Last off, we just want to touch on topping autoflowers. Now we mentioned it previously just a few moments ago, autoflowers and topping in beginner growers. It is something that can be done, but it's not something that we would recommend, simply because they don't have a lot of time to recover. So photoperiod plants, you can put them into veg, and they will flower when you want them to once you switch the light cycle, which means that they will stay in veg until you switch that light cycle, which means that you can train the shit out of those plants and turn them into some big bushy monsters before you flip that light cycle and change it into the flowering cycle. So that's just something you want to keep in mind, guys. Don't fucking, you know, shoot yourself in the foot because you're trying to achieve big yields with your autoflowers and do all these high stress training techniques to manipulate your plant to get bigger yields with autoflowers, because sometimes it might backfire on you, and those bitches will go into flowers super curly, and you will end up with like a small plant that's not ideal and a lot more bud than you thought you was going to get. So yeah, guys, autoflowers are really nice. They grow really quickly from seed to harvest in just a couple of months, and you'll have a bunch of bud just there, you know. So don't worry about it, guys. If you are growing some autos, I'm sure you'll enjoy it. These tips will definitely help you out. By the way, today's video is sponsored by Mars Hydro. You can save a bunch of money on all the Mars Hydro products, from seed to harvest. All of the equipment that you need, they got it. So be sure to check it out and use the discount code ICANTHC to support the channel. Really do appreciate your support. Now guys, if you want to learn more about growing autoflowers, you definitely should check this video out right here. If you want to learn more about training techniques that you can use, then check this one out right here. And we'll see you on the next one. We got some stuff to do with this, so we'll head out. See ya. Bye.